Go ahead.
How did you regain your own business?
How did I regain it?
Begin.
Oh, begin? Well, this isn't the first business I've had. I started when I was 18 when I had my first business. So, but this business started 10 years ago, and I was doing this with a partner, and we split up, so I started this one on my own.
Why did you choose like this type of field, and then what inspired you to do that?
20 years ago, I had owned a couple furniture stores, and one of them went out of business, and my brother-in-law was working for a company that did something like this, and he says, you got to go over there and see if you can get a job. I think you'd do well at it. So I went over there and I got a job, and right from the beginning I realized I had a knack for this business. So that's how it started 20 years ago.
What were some difficulties when you first started out?
No sales, an empty warehouse. So I hired, the first person I hired was this girl that was 15, real smart girl, but I needed someone kind of like a secretary to help me start off, and so I had a warehouse close by with nothing in it, and she used to go home to her dad and say, "Dad, I don't know if he has a real business. There's nothing in the warehouse." So that's probably been the only difficulty, was just starting out.
You could go back, like restart. What would you do differently?
Probably nothing. It's gone well since day one. When we took us about a month to get our first piece of equipment, and then from there on it's just gone straight ahead. So,
who or what is your biggest motivator?
Probably success more than money. The kill.
What are some sacrifices you need to make to become successful?
If you want to own your own business, don't think you're going to sit in a hammock and make money. It doesn't work that way. If you own your own business, you got to work hard at it, and you work more hours than anyone else if you want to be successful. I mean, some people get lucky, I guess, but most business owners I know work more hours than their employees do. And the expression is, you want to own your own business, and they think, oh yeah, I get to work half days. Well, the expression is, yeah, I get to work half days, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So nobody gives you anything in this world. So if you think you're going to just have a business and sit in a hammock and make money, it's not going to happen. Was that the question? Did I answer the question?
Mm-hmm.
So remember that. If you ever want to start your own business, don't think it's a piece of cake.
Yeah. How are ways like you think of ideas to like make your company more successful, like innovative stuff?
When you own your own company, you work 24 hours, and in the middle of the night, ideas come to you, and your employees come up with ideas too. So you never stop thinking about it.
How many hours do you work every day?
8 to 10. Weekends too.
What made you decide this location?
This location was close to my house, and it was for sale. So it's convenient. It's only five minutes away.
Where do you see your business in 10 years?
I don't know. Hopefully doubled or tripled.
Do you like expand and everything, and more?
We'd have to get more of a warehouse, because sometimes we're starting to run out of room right now.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So people lease these, like businesses, law firms, other people. They don't.
Out of a college these days.
So they don't buy the business. They don't buy the computers. They lease them, and then when it's done after that 2-year lease or whatever, 3-year lease, then
They get returned to our warehouse, and we sell it on behalf of the bank or the leasing company. But we do more computers. We do This came out of the hospital. And this is a drug dispenser, so, you know, John Smith needs his 50 pills. Push it in here, and that opens up, and, you know, there's just 50.
Nurses, or whoever does
Yeah,
it.
yeah, the pharmacist.
Pharmacist.
So this is a really big system, drug dispensing system. It's kind of cool. Can't really get the feel for what it is, but this is a robot here. And you can't get a feel for it. This is a robot that fills syringes. You think about it, when you know syringes are filled. You think a human does it? You get their.
Oh yeah, right.
So this is a $1 million robot that was returned from a hospital, and there's nobody else in the world that's going to buy this because it was built for them. So I talked to the bank who owns it, and I said, the only person who's going to buy it is the manufacturer. Do you mind if I call them up and say, would you buy your robot back? And they said, go ahead, call them up. And actually, so it sold it last week for $75,000.
To whom?
To the person who made it.
75 is nothing for them. They're gonna just, can they redo it or not?
They can redo it, but you understand, no hospital's going to buy it from us because it was made for a certain hospital to fill syringes in their location and what they needed.
Oh.
And anyway, the manufacturer, when I called them out, they said, by the way, you can't, you're not going to be able to sell to anybody. And I already knew that.
Right.
They go, there's software that drives this thing, and we won't sell the software to anybody else, so you can't sell to anybody. I already knew that. I go, I know, would you be interested in it? Yeah. And then they go, how much do you want? I said, how about $100,000? Because equipment usually is a good indicator is whatever it sells for new, it's worth 10% used. That's just a rule of thumb. So I said, you sold it for $1 million, why don't you give me $100,000? And they came back and said, we'll give you 75. And I said, I'll take it. Because I've been in situations like this where I had something that did brain surgery, sold for $500,000. The only person in the world that was going to buy it was the company that made it. And they were schmucks. You know what they offered me? $5,000.
I was trying to guess 5.
And I had no choice because they were the only ones that were going to buy it. I called the bank and I said, they're only offering 5. And I go, you going to sell it to anybody else? I said, no way. So
That's what they got it for? 5?
They were the only ones that could buy it because their software drove the program, and they were not going to let anyone else use the software, so it was worthless without the software. So these guys were actually very kind. If they wanted to be schmoes, they could offer me $5,000 on it, I would have had to take it.
Right. Did you pay anything for this, though?
No.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Big copy machines. These are X-ray systems back here that nobody wants, not even the manufacturer.
Looks like a chiropractor chair or something.
Maybe we get a lot of mailing equipment.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
for high-speed mailing.
So that's the stuff that comes in, but I thought it was interesting who you sell to. Who buys this stuff, right? Where does it go?
It goes to mostly dealers because we don't put warranties on anything. So there'll be a machine dealer that sells these new, and he'll want them for parts, or he'll want to have a little inventory. So when someone says, well, I don't want to pay you $5,000 for it, he says, well, I've got a used one for $2,000. Oh, I'll take that instead. So we sell it to dealers like that.
And some of them go to foreign countries, right?
Oh yeah, we ship out
The
of.
computers go.
The robot is actually going to Canada.
Okay.
And these things right here, believe it or not, we sold these right out X-rays. And we're selling these to Pakistan.
Right.
Because they're too old for them. These are 8 years old and the Americans don't want them, but they're still good in Pakistan.
I find that so interesting. That's awesome.
So we do a lot of everything. This is a car diagnostic. Or to take your antifreeze out of your car. So we do a lot more in computers.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah.
So, very interesting.
And we're like right now, 2 weeks ago you couldn't even walk in here.
Wow.
So we've sold a lot of stuff.
When you ship it out, or somebody comes and gets it, or
Mostly we ship it out.
like a
trucking companies.
FedEx. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Most of the stuff's too delicate to ship UPS because they roll their boxes, pick their boxes,
I know.
drop their boxes.
Plus, that would be very expensive, wouldn't it? It's better to just bundle it all and have a truck.
No, if you put it on a truck, then you protect it and it doesn't turn over. Where whatever you put in a box flips, and
Yeah.
you can't ship much that way.
Cool. Are you good?
Yep.